of what I've been trying to do on YouTube videos is to tell you guys my experience of how a foreigner came to Germany, got everything done, and then became financially successful on the other side. And that's why I made some notes, because when I was thinking about this topic, it wasn't random sets of events which took me to the place where I am right now. It was some very calculated decisions, some some inflection points. If I would have made a bad decision at that time, things wouldn't have turned out the way they are right now. So that's why I've made some notes, and it is going to be a very important video because I came to Germany in 2016 for doing my masters. And now it's almost 6 years from that time. And I have a house in Denmark, I have an apartment in Romania, I have a really nice car that I bought recently, I have a boat, I have essentially everything that I need to kind of live a life that most people would think of as a successful life. And I'm mentioning these things because material success can also sometimes mean that you have one less problem to worry about, and that is money. So this is the reason why I'm going to give you a few steps that you can also follow if you're in any situation in your life. And I'm also going to add 2 additional steps towards the end, rather 3, that you can do if you really want to grow much bigger. But these are optional, these are not for everybody. The first thing is, don't leave your current job. I think this is the worst mistake that most of the people make, and that is they just think that, alright, I want to change my life completely and I want to be financially successful, things like that. And the stupidest advice that they hear from everybody is that just leave your current job, just go and work for somebody else or work somewhere else, or just quit the job completely and don't do anything, work on your business. That's the best way to make sure that you're going to lose in whatever you have decided for yourself. Because you go from the mindset of long-term thinking into short-term thinking. You will always try to run after the next 10 euros, 20 euros, 50 euros and so on, and you will never have a long-term thinking, which is very crucial if you want to think about financial success in the longer run. So don't leave your current job, and if you're not leaving your current job, you'll be able to do things that most of the other people wouldn't. For example, when I started my YouTube channel, I didn't need any kind of money from it. I wasn't doing it for money at all, and still right now we don't make a lot of money from YouTube videos. So that was not the point. So with that, I was able to put out so much genuine information out there that nobody else, no other education consultant or somebody else was doing it on YouTube. So that really gave me an edge, and being the first person who started talking about Germany as a destination for higher education, of course, a lot of people started watching my videos, started recommending them to other friends and family that they know, and things really just skyrocketed from there. Of course, the basis of all of that was that I wasn't trying to grab the next 10 euros. That was not in my interest. I didn't care about it because we were doing financially okay. It was not a big problem. We were making ends meet. We were not having the fanciest jobs. I think at that time when I started YouTube channel, Lina was earning around 1,500 euros. I was making 500 euros. So around 2,000 euros from that, if you cut all of the expenses, we would still have around 500, 600 euros left every single month that we could put away to the side. That was very important for us. The story before that, of course, where Alina was also making just 550 euros or something, I was essentially making way less or nothing. So those were also difficult times that we had to see. So when we were arriving in this situation, when Alina was making some money and I was making some money, and I started my YouTube channel or something, I did not leave my job right away. That was not the point, because I wanted to make sure that I'm able to do it in the longer run. The second very important thing that you have to do is you have to take some kind of side gigs. So my very first side gig that I did while doing my full-time employment was teaching some Russian guy some English, and I had 3 lessons with him. From these 3 lessons, I think I made around 75 euros. Because if you think about it, for a 2-person household, this is money for a week of grocery shopping back then, or even 2 weeks of grocery shopping. So it wasn't really bad at all. And I did this when I was taking a look at different kind of teaching options available on eBay client side. So I was okay, 75 euros, if I can make some money on the side, why not? So that's how I started, and I started back in 2016, the moment I came to Germany, and I didn't have a job, and I was this feels really, really bad to sit at home as a man and your woman is going out there and working, So I was like, this is not really okay. So let me try to figure out a way to like do something extra on the side. And that's how I started this. And the Russian guy was happy because he learned how to introduce himself and learn some basic things. And I was also happy because I earned something extra. So if you have the option of taking a side gig, take the side gig. It's very important, as long as, of course, it doesn't disturb with your full-time job, full-time employment, full-time profession if you're a student, right? So if it doesn't disturb with your studies, then do that, not a problem at all. And for most of the people, it will not disturb. You're just simply wasting too much time on unnecessary things, and you can rather divert the time that you're wasting there into something more productive and something more meaningful. Now, once you have started taking your side gigs, you haven't left your full-time employment, start saving money. It's extremely important. Most of the people experience something which is called a lifestyle inflation. The more money they make, the more money they burn. But you have to make sure that the money that you're making more should always be a lot more than the money that you're burning more. The difference of these two things shouldn't be zero. So you have to really make sure of that. So start putting some money to the side, and I call it my fallback fund. And we always used to have a safe in our bank. We were at Hamburger Volksbank and we were having an account there. And in the bank, you would also have a safe section. So mostly at the bottom of the bank, in the ground, in the basement or something, they would have some kind of a safe, and there you have your own lockers. And we would always take out the money that we would have on the bank account and we would put it aside as cash. So again, this was me before knowing anything about investing and stuff, but this was also a good decision because having some real money in hand that you can use anytime, you can take out anytime, and you have like full access to it without any kind of like, questions, terms and conditions and so on. That's very important. So we were, I think, like saving around at least like 500 euros or something to the side, and we were just putting it in a bank account, and that was really, really nice. So this is something that you have to do, and then you have to see that you have at least funds of 3 to 6 months, like 3 months minimum anyways. I would say like 6 months is something that you should 100% hope for, and 1 month is definitely the better thing. That okay, if you have all of your expenses going on like they're going on right now, and if you can cut something out from them, and the absolute essentials should be covered by this money for a year or for 6 months. For example, for me right now, like I have really gotten to the place where I want to have a lot of financial security for my family. So I have funds put aside which can sustain us for like at least 10, 15 or 20 years. So this is something that you can do when you grow. But at least when you're starting out, when we were starting out, we didn't have more money than I think which could have sustained us for more than a year. But a year's worth money you should have access to at all times. It's very important, because if you don't take this step, anything else I say after this is going to be pretty much pointless. The next thing that you should start doing is start investing, and I mean it very seriously. I have a portfolio right now of 230,000 euros at Scalable Capital, and I'm really happy with their service. I've been using them for almost 2 years now, and have absolutely no complaints whatsoever. It's also pretty much the cheapest option on the market, which also foreigners can very easily utilize, because with many other German brokers, there are always terms and conditions which only allow permanent residents or German citizens to open a depot with them. But with Scalable Capital, that is not a problem. Even as a foreigner, you can very easily open your depot with Scalable Capital. I've also made multiple videos about how to open your depot. I will link them in the description. Now, the reason to start investing is that you're building a habit essentially of doing something for your future self, because business is nothing else than taking care of what you're going to be in the next few weeks, next months and so on, because your business always changes, and every single moment you're trying to do things which is going to make you safe for the next upcoming years, the next upcoming months. So investing in itself is a great habit to develop, because you're investing in working businesses. And when those businesses rise, the stock market rises and your investments also rise. Of course, right now with all of the crazy times that we're having, you have a lot of stocks available at a very cheap price, which is very nice for you, because when I started investing when it was absolutely at the peak of the market. But I'm still investing so that when you're dollar cost averaging, when things start going back up, things are again going to give me a positive return. After that, what you should start doing is start freelancing, because the habits that you've already built via investing will also carry over when you are actually freelancing. the long-term thinking, the understanding of businesses, the understanding of what kind of things you can do wrong, what kind of things you can do right, and so on, having more control on emotions and everything. This really flows very nicely into having a freelancing business. And like I said, you can have a freelancing business or you can have a sole proprietorship. These two are regulated by Kleinunternehmerregelung, or the small business regulations. The nice thing about this is that you have very less paperwork. Like I told you guys previously, when I was talking about the good and the bad sides of having a business in Germany, that as long as you're having a small business, things are actually very, very nice in Germany because the paperwork is very less. But once things start growing, then things become difficult. So as long as you're not making more than 22,500 euros per year, you're in small business category and you can very easily register a business in Germany and at least start trying some things out. It's very important. It doesn't cost a lot. It's just 10 or 20 euros to register yourself as a business, and that's it. You don't have to worry about anything else. So this is the part which I was talking about is optional, because many of the people, they want to do their masters and afterwards switch jobs, take a better job and so on. If you want to do that, if you want to have the financial security of that, good for you. Nobody's judging, but some people, they want to do something on the side too. And I really believe that you can also do something on the side and just see what kind of other things you can take up. So if you can do that, definitely having a freelancing business, either on Fiverr or something which is a business in itself, which counts as a sole proprietorship, you should try that. I think it's a very nice experience. It also builds your character a lot, because I would say business is the ultimate kind of ownership, your extreme ownership, because if you don't wake up in the morning and you don't work for your business, you don't work on your business, you will not have money to buy food for yourself towards the end of the day. So this is the direct relation that you would find. The thing is that many people who are doing jobs, they just get lazy because they get money from the Krankenkasse, they get money from the employer anyways, even if they're getting sick or not. Many times they just start making excuses that, okay, I don't feel like going to work today, so I'm taking a sick leave and stuff. And this just weakens your character. This weakens your integrity. And if you're going towards the route of having a business, this changes things entirely, because you're taking responsibility of not just yourself, but also, like I talk about in the next step, your business. Now, when do I start calling something as a business? I start calling something as a business when you are able to take care of all of your normal expenses without any kind of problems whatsoever, with the help of your main activity that you're doing, and that is your business. And at that step, it makes sense to start hiring good employees. It's very difficult to come across good employees. I remember in my own company, I think we have received over 1,100 applications so far. From those, we selected, I think, around 18 at different points of time. And now from those 18 people, we just have 9 people left. So this is something that you would see, that the majority of the applications that you will receive, they will be very low quality, or it would be just a copy paste that you'd be seeing in other places. But when you're able to find the right people who really align with whatever your values are, with whatever way you work, and don't bitch and moan about just giving more work at times when there's more workload, and having less work when there's absolutely nothing to do, find those kind of people. And when you're having your own business, you are taking responsibility of your own finances and of the finances of your employees, which again builds your character much, much stronger. You just have more responsibilities. More responsibilities means you're building your character. It's very simple. And building your character means you'll be able to take care of more difficult situations in the future much better than somebody who never worked on himself. Once you have done that, I would say the last step is pretty much live everywhere and experience life, because I think this is also very important and plays into your financial success story, because many times when you're living in different kind of countries, and from living I mean living properly. I don't mean this 1 or 2 day travel or a week of travel or something that many people show on YouTube. I think that's pretty much nonsense. I don't count it as living or experiencing countries or something. That's nonsense. If you're not living the life there as a local, if you're going to a local supermarket and you don't remember the price of the favorite bread that you have, you're not really living in that country. You're just going there around as a tourist and you don't have much to do there. If you haven't talked to some people in those countries, if you haven't learned about how it is to do business, how it is to live there and so on, it's nonsense. Like, I think traveling in that sense is pretty stupid because you're not really experiencing the country. When you start experiencing these countries, then you start coming up with more ideas. You would say, all right, does it make sense to have a business here? Or should I have a business here? Maybe this is an interesting thing that he said, an interesting idea. Maybe I can also implement it in my business. So having exposure to all of these different cultures and all of these different countries builds you even further. So I think this is pretty much the ultimate goal, at least for us. Like, we are right now living everywhere we want. We are in Denmark for 2-3 months, we're in Germany for 2-3 months, we're in Romania for 2-3 months, we're in Turkey for 2-3 months. Then afterwards we also spend time in Norway. That's also one of the countries that we absolutely love. So just like going around in different kind of countries, getting to know them better and getting to understand how the people function, how the system function, how the taxes work, how it is to have, a simple life there and so on. I think all of these things are very nice because in the end, the end goal of your life is essentially finding a place where you're at peace, where you are happy, where you don't desire anything more, in the sense that like you're running around to the next place and to the next place. So I think that's pretty much a nice way to kind of summarize that. So these are pretty much my step-by-step on how I came to Germany as a foreigner and got successful financially in the end. And I followed every single one of these steps. And none of these steps I hid from you or something. I've done exactly this. And if you find some good ideas, if you find some good opportunities, never say no to them. Especially as long as you don't have the luxury of saying no to them. Alright, once you do this, you will be just fine, and you would also be financially successful in Germany, in Europe, as a migrant. Thank you so much for watching this video, and the link for Scalable Capital I've put down in the description below. And also, if you want to open your own company in Romania, I've also put down the link for that website in the description. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one. Bye.